Whether you realize it or not, your habits shape so much of your daily life. In fact, studies show that up to 40% of our actions are habitual or things that we do automatically without thinking. Here's the exciting part. With the right strategies, you can design habits that work for you instead of against you. Imagine how it would feel to stick to your goals, feel more productive, and take control of your time. Sounds good, right? Hi, friend, and welcome to my channel. I'm Alma Joy, a working professional, life coach, and content creator in San Diego, California. Today, we're diving into a topic that we can truly change your life. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I decided I want to start walking every single day. I went all in, buying new workout clothes and walking shoes, promising myself I'd walk for 30 minutes every morning. But by day 3, I had already stopped. The problem wasn't my motivation, it was my approach. I was starting too big. Fast forward to today, I take a daily walk, rain or shine, but I started small with just 10 minutes a day. That one tiny shift changed everything, and today I'm going to share how you can do the same. In this episode, we're going to talk about the science of habits, how they work, how to build them, and how to stay consistent even when life gets busy. Stick around, it's going to be a good one. All right, let's start with the basics, the habit loop. This concept, popularized by Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit, breaks habits down into 3 parts: the cue, the routine or response, and the reward. Later, James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, one of my favorite books, added a 4th part, craving, which explains why habits are so hard to break or build. Here's how the 4-part habit loop works. Part 1, cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain it's time to start a habit. Part 2, craving. This is the motivation or desire behind the habit. Part 3, routine or response. This is the habit or action itself. And part 4, reward. This is the payoff that your brain gets reinforcing the habit. Let's use an example from my own life. A while back, I wanted to drink more water. My problem, I'd go hours without thinking about it, so I created a habit loop. The cue was putting a water bottle on my desk where I'd see it all day. The craving was wanting to feel more focused and energized. The response was taking a sip every time I noticed the bottle. And the reward was feeling refreshed and knowing I was taking good care of myself. Over time, the loop became automatic. Now I don't even think about it, I just do it. That's the beauty of understanding how habits work. Once you know your cues, cravings, and rewards, you can build habits intentionally. Here's something a lot of us get wrong. We think we need to go big to see results. But the truth is, small habits done consistently can lead to massive changes over time. Here's a quick statistic for you. You can improve by just 1% every day, and you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. That's the power of tiny, consistent actions adding up. Let me share another personal example. I used to struggle with journaling. I loved the idea, but every time I sat down to write, it just felt overwhelming. I'd stare at the blank page thinking, what do I even write about? Eventually, I decided to lower the bar. Instead of writing a full page, I committed to just 1 sentence a day. Some days, that sentence was simple as, I'm grateful for good food. But over time, it became a daily ritual I actually look forward to. Another example where I started small is exercise. I wanted to get back into working out, but I couldn't commit to 30-minute sessions right away. So I started with just one 10-minute walk. Just 10 minutes. What's funny is that once I was out the door, I'd usually end up walking even more. My exercise habit has grown to include other workouts like yoga, Pilates, and high-intensity interval training. But even on days when I just get a walk in, I still feel successful because I showed up. That's the key. Start small and let it build. Now let's talk about the 2 game changers for building habits. Habit stacking and designing your environment. Habit stacking is when you pair a new habit with something you're already doing. For example, I wanted to practice affirmations, but I kept forgetting, so I paired it with brushing my teeth. Every morning as I brush, I say one affirmation in my head like, I am capable. It felt a little weird at first, but now it's automatic. Another habit stack I love is combining walking and learning. I listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, or audiobooks while I walk. It's a double win. I get fresh air and I feed my brain at the same time. Now let's talk about your environment. The truth is your surroundings influence your habits more than your willpower ever could. I used to scroll on my phone late at night and I wanted to break that habit. So I started leaving my phone in the bathroom, keeping a book on my nightstand instead. That one small change made it so much easier to reach for a book instead of my phone. And here's a fun tip. If you want to eat healthier, keep healthy snacks like fruits on the counter and junk food out of sight. When healthy options are visible, you are more likely to choose them. Finally, let's talk about staying consistent. This is where most people struggle, including myself. Not because of lack of motivation, but because we think we need to be perfect. Spoiler alert, you don't. When I committed to a no-buy month in January, I missed a day in the first week. In the past, I would have thought, well, I already failed, so why bother? But this time, I reminded myself that missing one day doesn't erase all my progress. What matters is getting back on track the next day. Another thing that helped me stay consistent was tracking my habits. I use a paper planner tracker in my planner and mark every day as I complete the habit. Another helpful thing I do is celebrate small wins. After completing a workout or completing a task, I think to myself, nice work, and add that to my to-do list, which is a list of things I accomplish throughout the day, no matter how small. It sounds silly, but it helps reinforce the behavior. Sometimes I treat myself, like taking a bath after a workout or doing another form of self-care. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. 1. Habits are formed through the habit loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. 2. Remember to start small. Tiny, consistent actions add up to big progress. 3. Use habit stacking to pair new habits with existing routines. And 4. Design your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. And 5. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Here's one action step to get started today. Choose one habit you want to build, write down the cue, the action, and the reward. Then decide you'll start small this week. I've mentioned some habits I've worked on in this video, and if you need ideas, I highly recommend finding inspiration on YouTube, Pinterest, or simply searching habit ideas in your favorite search engine. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear about your habits that you're working on and connect in the comments, so let's chat. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe, like this video or podcast, and share it with someone who's building better habits too. Next episode, I'll be sharing more helpful advice. Until then, take care and remember, you are enough.